Hi guys, it's GK. OLED is a self-emitting display that uses organic materials that emit lights when current flows. It is different from LCD, which receives light through backlight. OLED has a high quality of image, lightweight and low power consumption, and particularly, it is flexible display. In Korea, Samsung display succeeded in mass production for the first time in the world in 2007, and it uses in various ways like smartphones, tablets, and vehicle display. Samsung is dominating the small and medium-sized panel market such as smartphones. LG is dominating the large panel market for TVs. Korea's OLED technology is overwhelmingly the world's #1 technology. It is no exaggeration to say that Korean enterprises monopolize the market for large OLED products. There are about 20 countries that sell OLED TVs worldwide, and 100% of Korean OLED panels are provided for them. Korea's OLED technology is unrivaled. However, China has challenged this. Experts said there is a 5-year gap between Korea and China in OLED technology. But Korea has been chased by China in the LCD market before. Although Korea has more than 40% more market share in LCD than China in 2010, China's Central Party's aggressive investment gave China a 17% lead in the LCD market last year. As the LCD market is gradually turning into an OLED market, China is planning to take advantage of its experience and surpass Korea. China is accelerating its long-term investment and technology development. In particular, enterprises that make OLED panels are aggressively supported by their political party. In addition, by introducing process technology that can reduce production costs by more than 10%. In fact, China is currently focusing on small and medium OLED display panels that are used for smartphones. China's largest display enterprises like BOE, EDO, and Visionox have been resuming investment in OLED since the end of the last year. Specific figures show BOE's market share increased from 0.1% to 5.4% last year, compared to LG's increase from 0.6% to 1.8%. You can see that BOE's advance is remarkable. However, experts say the difference between China and Korea's technology itself is significant, and China is not actually mass-producing OLED displays until now. It is unlikely that China's goal of becoming #1 in OLED display market will be achieved easily. They can imitate the appearance, but can't get over the fine technological differences in it. There is one way to overcome this problem in a short time. It is to bring related engineers from Korea. Currently, LG is 100% monopolizing the large OLED market, and China's only way to catch up with it as soon as possible is to bring the technicians from Korea. Actually, an employment notice posted on Korean recruitment website that foreign display company is hiring experts on large OLED. It says the workplace is China. The employing condition is a person with more than 10 years of experience in the field of large OLED panels over 65 inches. And the salary is suggested as more than $100 billion. Workers of the industry believe that a Chinese enterprise starting scouting LCD engineers through domestic headhunting companies. One of the workers said they used to take away engineers by contacting one-on-one or receiving recommendations through acquaintances, but now they officially post job recruiting, which has a high risk of technology outflow. Also, they are analyzing that Chinese are aiming for a niche in the sluggish Korean display market. Analysts say that Korea panel factories are restructuring their business and their workforce to find new items to overcome financial difficulties, and Chinese enterprises are trying to take away engineers who have increased job insecurity. The current status of Korean display manufacturers' manpower outflow is being carried out from a small medium LCD to a large OLED. China's enterprises are eager to recruit Korean engineers by offering them more than 3 times their annual salary. because having a proven engineer is a shortcut of acquiring new technology. OLED technology is more complicated and more difficult than LCD, so there are few success cases in the world. Accordingly, Korean enterprises are trying to prevent the outflow of engineers by putting a clause in the contract that deals with the core technologies that prohibit them from getting jobs in the same industry for a certain period of time after retirement. There are some precedents. The LG and Samsung filed applications for a temporary injunction against executives and employees who violated the Business Secret Protection Pledge. But this is too difficult to identify. The Chinese display enterprises take away Korean engineers because they are becoming more clever on scouting. In fact, there are many cases in which Chinese enterprises like BOE or C-Shot hired Korean engineers as subsidiaries or consulting company of research institutes. An industry worker said, "We received the pledge and make documents on the reason for retirement, but it is difficult to track them 100%. And added, "There are penalties for outflow blueprints to China under the Act on Prevention of Divulgence and Protection of Industrial Technology, but it is difficult to prevent the outflow of know-how and design skills that employees have acquired." Eventually, some point out that the best solution to settle the issue is to provide reasonable treatment to engineers. So enterprises are supporting programs that help high-tech display engineers get jobs at university or research institutes when they retire. The government recently said it felt serious about the issue and promised $300 million in support to display-related industries, which will continue to implement this system that will prevent the outflow of original technology and foster displays intensively. Despite of government efforts, China's technology stealing continues till now. Actually, the Suwon District Prosecutor said that Samsung Display's chief researcher and equipment company director were arrested and indicted under the Act of Prevention of Divulgence and Protection of Industrial Technology on charges of outflowing technologies related to inkjet facilities. The technologies were developed by Samsung after investing $8 million in development costs for 3 years, and it was scheduled to begin mass production, but they handed over the technologies to Chinese enterprise. As can be seen in this case, China's attempts to steal technology are widespread. In particular, it attracts former and current engineers with huge irresistible money. I think it's time for us to pay close attention to whether the technologies will be outflowed to China in the future. Thank you for watching. Have a happy day.